Good morning, everyone. I just woke up. I have work from 12 to close today, and I just wanted to update you guys on my new job because I haven't done that lately. And I don't know what happened to my other video when I talked about how my job was going and how I got involved in a hit and run, but I'll update you guys on that as well. I know. So, no. So, my new job is going great. I am starting to do physicals by myself, of course, with someone who's watching me. And basically, I'm what they call a physician substitute or a phys sub. So my primary duty at the Plasma Center is to conduct an interview with new donors or Stop! Go! To conduct new annuals on new donors that have never donated. Excuse me. What did I just say? Go. Why have kids when you can just have a cat? I just woke up. I had my coffee. So, where was I? Oh, my primary job as a physician substitute is to conduct physicals on new donors that have never donated before, and also new/return donors for their annual, because every year we update their body art, piercings, gauges, brandings, or scars. And we basically just want to make sure that anyone that comes through the door that wants to donate is healthy, because we want to make the best plasma into life-saving medicine. So, yeah, that's my primary duty, and I'm doing pretty well at that. Basically, you know, every job has a system where you can see who's checked in and whatnot. So as soon as the new donor or the return annual is checked in, they sit in a certain area. I go out in the hall and I call them back to my room, and I ask them if they would like a chaperone or inspector present, and I ask if they're taking any medications like over the counter or prescribed, or something daily, or an inhaler. If they have an inhaler because they have current asthma, they need to bring the inhaler with them at every visit, every time they donate. If they just had childhood asthma and they haven't had any attacks since they were a child, that doesn't really matter. If they have psoriatic or rheumatoid arthritis, you are not allowed to donate. If they have diabetes type 1 and they have to take insulin on a daily basis, they cannot donate unless their medications all of a sudden get changed and they don't have to be insulin dependent anymore, which is very rare. So I just make sure that there have been no changes to their tattoos if they're return donors. If they're new donors, I have to document every single tattoo on their body, where it's located, if it's single or multicolor. And then I go on with the physical. I check their head. Good morning. I check their head for any bumps or bruises. And then I check their eyes to make sure they react to light. I look inside of their ears to make sure there's no signs of infection. And then I check up their nose to make sure there's no, what do I want to say? It's still early, guys, for me, because I just woke up. No signs of substance abuse like cocaine. I just make sure there's no white powdery substance up there. And then I will check their lymph nodes to make sure that they're not inflamed or swollen. And then after that, I listen to their heart and lung sounds. We listen to 3 spots on the left side, and then we go over to the right side, and then I listen to their lungs in the 4 places in the front, and I listen to their lungs on their back 4 times as well. Of course, you want to do the lung sounds and heart sound on bare skin. Sometimes if they're wearing... This again. Go! Sometimes if they're wearing a really tight shirt and like I have to go down their back and it'll like choke them, I just kind of do it over the shirt, or if they're willing to take the shirt off or lift it for me, I'll do that as well. So after that, I have them lay flat on their back to feel their abdomen for any enlarged liver or spleen. So what I do is I place my hand under their lower back and apply some pressure and tell them to take a deep breath in, and then once they let it out, I apply pressure on their abdomen and feel around and ask if they feel any pain or tenderness. And And we do that on both sides. So we primarily do that in case a woman's pregnant. You know, you can kind of feel the whole amniotic sac in the pouch. We can feel hernias, we can feel any masses, and of course we can feel the enlarged liver or spleen, and we can look at their face and tell if they're wincing or not. I haven't, yesterday I had to defer someone for masses, but we found out what that was about, but they ended up not being able to donate anyways for other reasons. So you just really want to be thorough with your exam, because you don't want to pass anybody that isn't up to par. That's how I say it in my head. After I'm done checking their abdomen, they sit back up, and I have to check their arms for any like track marks here. You're gonna notice if they're drug users habitually. You can tell which puncture holes from the donation are in their antecubital space, and then you can tell if they're habitual users. Their veins and all of this is going to be black. So when I'm looking on their arms, I'm feeling for any abnormal bumps, bruises, signs of infection, track marks, and then we check in between the webbings of the fingers. And then when I check their legs, I'm feeling their calves for any swelling. I check in between the webbing of their feet to look for any track marks. And then I look on the bottom of their heels, because some people will shoot up in their heels. So after they're done doing that, they put their shoes and socks back on, and they just sit down, and we finish the interview. So once they're done sitting there, I read them a big binder about venipuncture and the signs and symptoms of an adverse reaction when they're getting, you know, the plasma donated, you know, lightheadedness, seizures. Those are all like major. Low blood pressure, confusion, sweating, and then they could have chills, air embolism, stuff like that, because, you know, there's air in the line, but they prime the machine before it starts, so most of the time they're not going to have an air embolism, but it can happen. So once they're done with that, I take them out of the room, I show them to their seat, they sit down, and they start donating. So that's what I do. I'm loving it. The only thing I'm not really liking is the schedule. When I was a CNA, I was used to working every other weekend, like having a full weekend off every other weekend. Here, because they're short-staffed, I guess, or whoever's making the schedule don't know what they're doing, and I basically have one weekend day off, and I work the next weekend day. So if I work a Saturday, I'm off Sunday, and if I work a Sunday, I'm off that Saturday. So I don't like that. I'm used to, when I was a CNA, if I work Saturday, Sunday, I would have that Friday, Monday off. And then if I work Monday through Friday, I have the Saturday, Sunday off. And it worked pretty well. So I know that they're short in our area because of certain things, but I'm really hoping that it gets worked out, because I would like to have a full weekend off at some point so I can do things. I had to cancel my plans this weekend because the schedule came out and it's completely different than what we were told it's going to be. So some people were upset about it. Me, I'm not too upset about it, because, like, I need the money, honestly, and I also need the experience. Like, I want to keep training and learning things, but I also don't have, like, children or, like, super big plans that I have to do on weekends, so it doesn't really bother me. There's a 5:45 to 2:15 shift that I really like, even though that's super early, but that's the opening shift, and it's awesome because you get off early and there's no traffic on the way in, there's no traffic on the way out. As far as the update on my hit and run, so for those of you who didn't catch that video before I accidentally deleted it or whatever I did, like 2 weeks ago, a week ago, something like that, I was sitting in traffic, stopped, and every time I stop on the freeway when we're in traffic like that, I look in all my mirrors. I look in all my mirrors regardless, but I looked to my sides, looked at my rear view, and this lady was not stopping, and she hit me. And I pulled over in the emergency lane, put my flashers on, and all of a sudden she takes off. So I'm chasing this lady through traffic while I'm on the phone with 911, giving them, you know, the information, and they still haven't found her. They still haven't contacted me about it because she was from another city, and they said they alerted the state police in that area, But yeah, I haven't heard anything about it. I haven't filed with my insurance because I don't want my premium to go up, especially if they're not covered. And I know I'm supposed to be covered with uninsured motor vehicle stuff, but you never know. And the rates around my area keep going up because the accident rate is so high. So I don't want to pay a higher premium. And it's not really that bad of damage. Like, the clips in my bumper came out and my taillight is kind of pushed in, and I have like a scuff mark across the back where the car like bumped me. And excuse me, that's about it. It's not like my whole back end is like mushed in and I can't open my trunk. I can open my trunk. My taillight and blinkers work, so I'm not really that worried about it. And my mom knows a couple people in like car repair and detailing, so I'm just gonna see if they can look at it and like fix it for a couple $100. If not, I'll just save up and get it fixed somewhere else, I guess. Or just leave it, because there's no need to have nice things where I live because people are just gonna wreck it. That's the update on that. I haven't heard anything about that. Let me see. I don't think there's anything else I need to update you guys on. I'm getting ready to go to work. I work 12 to close. So the 12 to close shift, since the phys subs are the nurses, a nurse has to be present when donors are there. So we close our doors at 7. The last donor can come in at 7. And we cannot leave until that last donor is off the floor. So, like last night, I didn't get out until about 8:30, which is perfectly fine. And I expect to do the same today because we're starting to get a little bit more busy. So, that's that. I like everyone I work with. They're really helpful. And I've had a couple of donors tell me I'm doing a great job. And some of the nurses I work with are telling me I'm doing a great job. So, that's always motivating, because when you start a new job, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm starting completely over. But once I'm done and I get checked off on all of my physical phys sub training, I can start doing physicals by myself. And then eventually I'll do the floor training to become a donor floor tech, which means I will be able to do the phlebotomy part of sticking people in their antecubital space and running the machines. And then I'll also learn to discontinue a donor and take the machine down and take the plasma to the processing center, which I already do. If I don't have any physicals, I'm on the floor and I'm helping them. Like, once they're done taking the machine down and they have the plasma ready to be taken to the plasma processing window, I'll grab it for them and be like, hey, I'm gonna run this, and then I'll stock the machine with more supplies, wipe the bed down, and then keep it moving. I don't like just sitting in the little office they have us in where we do the physicals, because I like to talk, I like to learn, especially since I'm in a new environment, and I also like to just help my coworkers because it just makes everything go so much smoother. And especially at night when we're closing, you know, you want to get out of there ASAP. So the more I can help, the better. You know, that way we get out of there at a decent time instead of like 10 o'clock. So just wanted to update you guys on that. I'm getting ready to finish my coffee and start getting ready for work. If you guys have any questions or comments, as always, you can leave them. I'm more than willing to answer them. Sorry about my cat situation that happened earlier. He's been very needy lately. I don't know what it is. He goes through these phases, but yep, new job is going great. Still haven't heard anything on my hit and run, and I'm just working. So I'll make a new video for you guys soon.